How long you know Al?
Uh, like 13 years probably.
I know what I forgot.
What?
I forgot my shot.
Oh, get a shot.
I'll be right back. If you want, you can talk to the fans or whatever, because ain't nobody really gonna listen to nothing until we put the actual intro out there.
Yeah, no, it's all.
What's it called?
Right.
So you take a shot on every show?
Oh, I tried to.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I'm not a drinker as far as like mixed drinks and stuff. Either you give me a shot or I'm not drinking.
You don't drink like beers or anything? Just straight liquor, shots. That's it.
I used to drink all that, but 15 years in the military, you kind of get tired of.
Yep.
Oh, like you tell me tequila, and I tell you no mas. No mas. I don't want nothing
Roberto
with
Duran.
You better be someone I'm really down with to get me to have a shot of tequila.
I'm not a big tequila person either, to be honest. I like whiskey and
that's me right there.
I like whiskey. I like what is it? Cognac. I like rum. I don't really like tequila. I don't really like. I mean, vodka's okay if you put it in something, but I wouldn't drink vodka straight. The vodka's gross.
Now, see, I'll do a shot of vodka or a shot of rum. I'm usually a whiskey drinker.
I like whiskey too.
That's like my number one go-to. So I try to stick away from the clear. I try to stick away from the dark. Cause that Hennessy, that used to be my friend.
Yeah.
Now I be wanting to fight people. So no, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't know anyone that got my bill. So. We going.
Boogie, what's good? You got on this yet? You got on the podcast yet?
No, I ain't.
You didn't even do it?
I'm next.
You next?
So I'm gonna go ahead and get it started. I'm gonna play my intro, and then I'm going to my introduction. So
Okay, cool.
and that's when we'll do the shot.
Okay.
It's your girl Kim from the patio with Kim, and as you can see, we still rocking in the living room because we are location. I want to say thank you so much to Mr. Fitz right here. He's a music producer coming to be company on the patio, so I appreciate your visit. I appreciate you come kicking it and come letting me know, some stuff about you, especially when it relates to 50 years of hip hop. Because this is the time.
Definitely. Thank you for having me. I appreciate this. Yeah, I mean it's big, right? Who would have thought? Right? 50 years.
All the people that we was raised listening to.
Yeah.
It's like if you don't see them now, you might not see them.
Yeah.
So I just got like 9 questions, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell my viewers, y'all need to ear hustle on these 50 years of hip hop, especially this one. I got the banging ass producer, Mr. Fitz, up in here. You're gonna want to ear hustle on this conversation, because you're gonna want to be on it for sure. So like, not to bounce around or anything. First question I always ask anybody is, what song or what artist or group of artists made you fall in love with? What was that first song you heard? You were like, I gotta listen to this.
Yeah. I mean, so I mean, I was a kid. Like I used to like MC Hammer. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean. When I was young, that's what I liked. But honestly, like the artist that really had me like drawn in was Snoop.
Oh, okay.
And Doggy Style and What's My Name. Like that song really like captivated me. I know I got that cassette back when people listened to cassettes.
I got the two cassettes now. Cassette, what you talking about?
I had that cassette. You know, someone gave it to me for my birthday, and you know, I used to know every word to that whole album. You know, that was what really, even though I'm from the East Coast, like that album was like what had me really locked in on hip hop.
Okay. I would want to be the dead horse, but you know, should have him been always.
Oh yeah.
My first go-to, but you know, I was born in the 70s. So
Yeah, I mean, I was born in the 80s, so it was a little bit different, but yeah.
But
I mean, I still like, you know, a hip hop, hip it to the hip hop. You don't stop and rock it. So you know, definitely. But like when I was a kid, like Snoop he was the biggest thing in the world in '93.
Yeah, he was. I was in high school.
And I was 10 years old. I was in like, I don't know, 4th grade or whatever, and I
remember the team cover.
Yeah.
Because we went to the movies to see that, and we heard that song. We was like, "Yo, what's up with that?" But so, from a producer standpoint, is there any producer that specifically inspired you from hip hop era, or was it just the music itself?
It was, yeah. I mean, it was for me. Like, I've always looked like at Dre as like being my favorite producer. I don't really kind of like, you know, mimic his style or anything like that. Like he's just always been like my favorite producer. You know, my sound is probably more similar to like, I don't know, Premier or Alchemist, or you know, producers that are like, you know, heavy into the, you know, sample based kind of New York more style hip hop probably than like a Dre. But Dre, I mean, his sound is like, you know, his music is iconic, but like his mixes are crazy, and like the way it sounds is just so clean and
identify.
Yeah.
Like, you know how they say certain producers have, you hear their beat and you like,
you know what?
That's
You know, there's always certain people, and some people definitely have a signature. Like, you know, you hear Dre, you know it's Dre. You hear Premier, you know it's Premier. You hear Timbaland, you know it's Timbaland. You know, not every producer has that like signature sound. Like, a lot of great producers, but like only a couple people that you hear the beat. You might hear, you know, the first first 2 bars, and you're like, oh, I know who made that beat. You know what I mean?
They might try to slide it off, and then you're like, really?
Yeah.
Don't fool with nobody. Just stay tuned.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. Like one of them little TikToks, pull up the little.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I'm too old. I'm not on the TikTok. I'm too old for TikTok.
You wouldn't believe I had.
I watch TikToks on Instagram like an old person.
I'm still learning both of those. I look at all that stuff on Facebook.
Okay, so you got me.
Yeah. I was apprehensive about the whole social media thing, but when you decide you want to,
I mean, if you're gonna do a podcast, you gotta be on social media.
Yeah, you gotta be out of your comfort zone.
You gotta promote. You gotta promote, and that's how you gotta do it.
That's what I'm trying to do. So, okay, how long have you been producing?
So I started producing in 2005. So what's that? Like 18 years? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any times early in your career where you could have broke out and you might have missed an opportunity, or you just have had a steady increase of exposure to where you are now? You know, some people, they be like, oh, I was doing X, Y, Z for like 2 years. I got this opportunity to sign this contract or whatever. And I was like, nah, I'm worth more than that. And then here they are 15, 20 years later, and they still talk about that contract that they missed out on.
Nah, I don't know if I've ever been in a position to like get like a big contract or anything like that. I mean, I just kind of do it with my friends, like people that I know, and like people like I try to just do music that I like with people that I like. You know what I mean? And so like I've never really been in a position to like have a big contract, but I think that I don't know. I mean, you look now at the industry. There's a lot of people being successful independently, right? So I would say, kind of be leary, read the fine print, right? If you're ready to sign a contract, right? Because you find people like even like Ryan Leslie, who's like more of a mainstream artist. Like he's independent and he makes a lot of money independently,
right?
And he's not
to charge all the money.
Yeah. So I don't know if you ever watch him on. I've seen a couple clips of him on YouTube and Instagram talking about like how he does it. So there's pros and cons to signing a major deal, and make sure like what you get into. It's different for an artist and producer too. Like if you're an artist, like signing a deal is different than if you're a producer, right? Like so a little bit different, but I mean I think like if you have the opportunity to build something from the ground up, I mean look at the Griselda dudes, right? Like they built that Griselda, like West Side Gun and Conway and Benny. Like look what they did. They built everything from the ground up, and did it their own way, and now they're big. It probably took longer maybe, but it ended up being now they're on top of the underground. They're doing songs with J. Cole, and they did it their own way, and they have total control of what they're doing.
Yeah, that's what's up. I didn't think about that aspect because again, y'all are getting all the money because y'all are doing all the work.
Yeah. So I mean, there's pros and cons. I mean, you got to look at it like, I feel like if you sign a major deal, you've got somebody else telling you what you're supposed to be doing. You got a boss now, right? And you got to make music a certain way, maybe potentially. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah, that would kind of, when you lose that creative control,
yeah,
it does take something away from you. So I understand that totally. So like with your impact on hip hop, because you're able to see artists come and go, and whether or not you feel as though what you hear against what you produce sounds great, or if when these people come in there, if they trap, how do you feel your impact on the hip hop community has been so far?
I mean, I feel like I'm just happy to be a part of it. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if I've had any kind of major impact, but I do feel like it's been a blessing for me to be a part of the community, and I've done some records that I'm really proud of, and I've worked with some people in the New England area and Boston and Rhode Island, and, that are doing sort of bigger things now. So I feel like I feel like I've been a small part of the history, and I feel just happy to be here. You know what I mean? I just feel happy to be a part of it.
Okay. So, excuse me. If there are any accomplishments that you've made as a producer, what is one or some of your most favorite accomplishments? Like, some people, they win an award, or you might just get recognized for so they might bring you in and be like, hey, I got this dude, I need you to collaborate for the track or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Weeds of it.
So I don't know. There's a couple of things that stick out for me. I was on a list years ago think it was Bandcamp that put it out, and it was like 5 producers to be acquainted or to know from Boston. And I was on there with a couple of guys that are pretty big on the scene right now. Definitely bigger than me, but I'm happy to be a part of that conversation. So that was pretty cool. So shout out to Lightfoot and the Archetype. So they were on that list as well. And then I put an album out in 2015, I think. It was called The Time Is Now, and it was just a collection. I produced the whole thing. It was a collection of artists from all over New England, mostly Boston and Providence, and then Newport as well. Shout out to Newport, Rhode Island. And I thought that was for me, that was a big accomplishment because I put the whole thing together myself. Paid. Had the budget was mine. Coordinated the whole thing myself. So that was good. I had Rex on there. I had Acrobatic on there. I had some up and coming artists from Mass on there in Rhode Island. So it was that was a proud moment for me. So that was good. Yeah.
I'd like to apologize. Hey, y'all, we are at a barbecue right now, so excuse a little noise in the background. We're trying to do this, 2 up, 2 down for the VA, for everybody else out there, from New England, from Providence, Rhode Island, and stuff. So, to get back. So, do you see yourself going further, like within the next 5 years? Are there certain goals that you would like to accomplish by then, or are you pretty much satisfied and fulfilled with where you're at?
Yeah, I think like I said, I'm at a point now where I just like to make music with people that I like and just kind of have fun with it. So I'm working with Vaughn right now, and I think, I think he's got a lot of talent, and we might be able to do something special. But if nothing ever comes of it, like I'm just happy kind of where I'm at, right? Like I'm hopefully gonna make another record with my boy Tom Brown, who is really how I got started making music back in the day. So that's kind of be like a full circle moment. So that'll be nice. And so I don't think that I'm ever going to be like a major force, but I'm also never going to stop making music. That's just I love doing it, and you never know, right? Like so, there's I feel like the people that get into it that are only trying to make money and they fizzle out in a couple of years and they don't blow up and they fold, right? And I don't think like. I'm not defined by the money that I make doing it. I just love doing it.
Right. Because a lot of people do just start because of the money and not because of just the joy and they get it. Just I love to do this, so this is what I want to do.
And it only takes one.
Right.
It only takes one. Like Greg, you get one hit record, and that can be lifetimes of income.
Right. So are there any things that, like, say there's a young person out there, you might be able to work too, I'm not trying to take away from anyone, but I know a lot of younger people have the hip-hop dreams more so than the older people that's there in my generation. Do you have any, like, advice or little pieces of wisdom that you would be able to share with them on it? That's what they're thinking about doing. Any advice on, hey, if you do it, make sure you, anything like that. Like,
I would say like make sure you like what you're doing and like you would really, you're not chasing trends or or you're not doing something because it's popular, make sure that it's something that you like. Like make music for yourself and your friends. Like, and then like hopefully that will catch on and become popular and you'll be able to pay your bills. But like don't do something because everyone else is doing it. Right? Because everyone that sounds the same, like it's a lot harder to really blow up if you sound like everybody else.
True.
Right? But if you've got something unique, you know what I mean, and you doing something that's different, that's when, you know, you may not catch on, but if you do, that's how you rise above the rest.
Narrow their scope on what they can do and open the scope on what you can do compared to them. Like they're all doing the same little snap pop, whatever. I'm coming at you with the thunder.
Yeah.
So they gonna choose the thunder because they're like, okay,
so,
this is about what.
I would say do what you love and don't chase trends, right? Like that's what I would say.
Now, bonus question. Is there any piece of advice that you would have given your younger self when you first started out?
Yeah, I would probably say I would have invested more in myself early on, I think. I tried to get away with using free programs and limited hardware and just try to do everything for like as cheap as possible, where I think that, you know, if I would have invested a little bit of money and got some better equipment earlier, you know, I probably would have been making better music sooner.
That's
yeah.
What's up, eh?
I mean, it's not all about, you know, the
money, or if you got an opportunity.
Yeah, it's not all about like the equipment that you're using, but like, you know, you gotta be good, right? Like it's like anything else. Like you gotta have some talent, but it's not all about, you know. But if you do spend a little bit of money, you know, invest in some decent equipment early on and not trying to do everything for the cheap, you know, I think, you know, probably would have got a little further.
Well, that's all the questions. That's the 9 questions that I have for you. If you got a website, you can shout it out. You know, if there's anyone you want to shout out, you can shout it out.
Yeah, so I do have a website. It's got all of my music on there. It's got a couple of music videos that I've done over the course of the years. So it's www.imakebangers.com. So is bangers with an S, not a Z. www.imakebangers.com.
All right. Well, you heard that. www.imakebangers.com. Z, not an S. Y'all should go on out there, see what's out there. Let my mans know. I know y'all can put them on. I know y'all can. Mr. Fitz, y'all got this. Y'all got this. I just personally want to thank you and salute you for coming through to the patio. Yep, to the 50 years of hip hop. And another 50 that we gonna see.
Another 50.
Yes. Salute. Well, y'all, that's all my time for today. I hope y'all enjoyed listening to our conversation because Mr. Fitz got it going on with the producing section. And I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go because the alcohol's burning now. But now, for real, y'all have a great evening and we'll see you later. Peace.
And your ass was asleep.
And I